I can remember very vividly, we played Shawnee and we tied them. And I can remember the girls were ecstatic and I was furious. We dominated the game. And Mrs. Hillman, Lori Hillman's mom, came up to me and tried to calm me down and explain to me that the girls were so excited because they had never done that. Mm-hmm. Like, they lost to Shawnee every year. Mm-hmm. And that was no reason, in my opinion, to be excited. Yeah. We dominated. Statistically, we should have crushed them. And we talked a lot about it after the game, and I stressed to them, you know, the fact that we're going to see them again, and you cannot statistically dominate and not finish and this, that, and the other. And sure enough, we did see them in the state semifinals. I think it was the state semifinals or South Jersey finals. I can't even remember. And we went into overtime and won. Sarah Dawson actually scored the winning goal on her birthday. So that kind of put us over the hump. I think for the girls, it was about believing that they could beat them. Mm-hmm. You know, there was this feeling that they were different, and just trying to stress to the girls that they do the same things we do and we're working harder, and making them believe that they are working harder and they are better. It was that mindset, and that confidence put them over the edge. And it's just flourished and blossomed since then, obviously. I think that a lot of coaches don't pay attention to simple details, and those details I've learned from the coaches that I've had make a really big difference in the big picture. And for me, that's really what it's about.
So focusing on the little things.
Focusing on the little things. But I'm very passionate. I'm very competitive. Very competitive. But I do think over the years I've changed. I think that with age I've definitely changed. My kids have changed me as a coach. I definitely have.
Like your personal kids or the kids you coach?
My personal kids. Mm-hmm. I think all of those things have definitely changed my coaching style. And I think when alumni come back and help out, they see some of the changes. Mm-hmm. You know, but there's still an awful lot of passion, and I love what I do. And, you know, I have great kids and great parents, and we play a very high tempo. We like to smother defensively. We are a fast-paced transitional team.
High scoring, obviously.
We obviously are a high-scoring team. Yes, I mean I'm not the kind of coach that's very conservative and, you know, let's swing the ball back and forth and look for open lanes. I'm like I really, really like high-tempo hockey, and I think it's fun to watch.
Did Christy coach that?
I think.
Or is that like more to a high school style of play?
I think Christy coached a high tempo. I mean, Christy coached team game. You know, you worked together, and I think that that's what a lot of people see when they watch our team. Mm-hmm. You know, it's a team game. There's not a lot of individual play, and there's a time and a place for that. But I think overall, we win as a team. I think it's just a matter of demanding that that's the way they play, mm-hmm. and never allowing them to think that they've arrived and to accept less than that. You know, I mean, they know, I think the kids know that they would never be able to step on my field and play an individual style. I mean, you can talk to middle school kids coming up, and they know that. Mm-hmm. They know the kind of style that we play. They know that we work as a unit offensively. Turnover, we're working defensively as a unit. We don't sit and take breaks. We're not going to take it one end to the other on our own. And
you guys have the depth to be able to.
We do.
Step out of that
I don't sub a lot. Yeah. They're just in good shape because we run a lot. But we do. We've got some depth on the bench to be able to help us with that. But mm-hmm. We're definitely a high tempo. And honestly, I think that that's allowed us in years to beat higher level teams, more skilled teams, because we're so aggressive in our style of play, and they were so conservative in their style. Every year I've had freshmen that I think have started for me. Mm-hmm. I am a very big believer in the best kids play. I don't care what year you are, and we don't really worry about years here. We're
and
not
the
kind of
supports all of this.
Absolutely. And I think that that's one of the things that I say to parents at a parent meeting. Like, we have not won 16 state titles by playing favorites. We have not won 16 state titles by playing seniors because they have earned it. You earn it by being the best player, and if the best players are going to play on the field and they're going to start, and I think that that's important. And then we've had products of the program, kids that play freshman, then play JV their sophomore year, and then move into varsity their junior and senior year. This is the field hockey field. And everybody knows it. It is, I know it's a joke, but this is our practice facility. This is where we practice every day. This is where we play our games.
You have like your normal after school times.
They go to the grass, and this is where we come, and it's awesome. And we've created an environment at some games that is so fun. We get so many people at some of our games, and we play music during warm-ups. We have an amazing sound system. The lights are on. Yeah. We have an announcer. He announces
it's like Friday Night Lights for football.
When the teams are taking the field, there's music playing after every goal. My girls have a goal-scoring song.
Yeah,
so if
college.
they score, their song plays.
Awesome.
It's awesome. You know what I mean? Like, to me, that's a fun environment, and it gets people out watching.
Do you think that draws little kids into the sport as well?
Absolutely. I hope it does.
They want to come here and play.
I hope it does. They want to, they want to at least play the game. Whether they want to play it here, they want to play the game, and that's what you hope. You know what I mean? I want to create an environment that's fun, because that's good for the sport. I am a very big believer in playing other sports. I have a handful of girls that play softball or run track or play lacrosse. I'm a huge believer in it. I think it's good for the body. I think it's good for the mind. I think it's good to get coached by other coaches and to see styles. And I think it's good to put your hockey stick away sometimes. It's refreshing. I do think that that's really good. I would say that maybe 40 to 50% of my kids play another sport. I think that you really have to dot I's and cross T's. I think you really have to sometimes be careful with the way you say things to kids. Kids are a little different. They don't want to accept that. They don't want to believe that, but they are. Kids are, they're coddled a little bit more. We live in a society where everybody gets a trophy. Everybody wants to be acknowledged. Everybody, that's unfortunately, I feel like the way that we are right now as a society, and that's not the real life and real world of what these kids are going into. So I think that you have to be careful in that sense, but I can definitely say that I think we have great success because I have parents who want their kids to be pushed. They want to see their kids encouraged, and they want to have demands set on their kids and all of those kinds of things. And I talk about that.
Do the kids want that as well?
I think so. I mean,
just like an expectation of being a part of the program, kind of.
I think so, and obviously it's it's a little bit different. I think back to my early years, and I think the kids are a little different, but I think the game is a little different, and these kids are doing so much more. So, the game has progressed. The skill level of the game, the availability that these kids have in the off season, it wasn't like that 16 years ago. They're playing so much, so their level of skill is just a little bit higher. So the grit, the physical, the diving, all of that stuff that we had early on that allowed us to get over that hump and win games, it's a lot more skill based now. I think the feeling behind the club was to create, there's been a lot of changeover with some of the local clubs, but also just to create a place where kids can get better. Yes, we're going to go to tournaments. Yes, we're going to compete. Yes, we're going to look to be one of the stronger clubs, of course. But to me, that off season in those clubs, and I call it an off season because I'm a high school coach, but the club season should be about growing and getting better and not just going to tournaments and furthering your bad habits. And I feel like in some clubs, and not all, but there are some clubs where there is such focus on playing, and to me, you should be practicing double what you play. And I think a lot of clubs, you're playing double what you practice. And you are just really developing bad habits. I think there's a lot of things that are rewarding. I think the relationships you develop with the kids is very rewarding. You always have those relationships that turn sour. Sometimes you can't ever do enough, but I've had so many positive relationships with kids that go beyond school, going to baby showers, being a reader at their weddings. You know what I mean? Like, those are things that are just so, so special, and you value. Obviously, seeing their hard work pay off as far as a unit out here, to see them grow through the season, to see them move into a state tournament and so passionately, dominate and win, that enthusiasm and sometimes relief. After 16 years, there's a little relief almost, because there's so much pressure on them to continue to win. Those things I find very rewarding. And then obviously, the things they do beyond here collegiately. Watching Rachel I went over to the Nook and watch her play it against Argentina. To sit right in the field and see one of your former players, that is just, it's just really amazing. Cool. Absolutely. I would never entertain it at this point in my life, but the competitor in me thinks about it sometimes, and I'm pretty confident that I could do a pretty good job at the next level. I think I could be a very good college coach, but at 42 with 3 young kids, no way.
It's not worth it at this point.
No way.
That time has passed.
It has.